Hello, this is Dharm Sidhu. I'm trained as a naturopathic doctor in Vancouver, Canada, and have been developing and teaching intuition for the past 20, 25 years. This is part 2 of a series of videos where I'm sharing what I've learned about intuition and how to engage it. So in the second part of the video, I would like to speak about some examples of questions that you can ask to most benefit from engaging your intuition. I found that you can receive just about any answer if you know the question to ask. So developing a curious mind and thinking about what question to ask. Sometimes I even ask, what question could I be asking right now about this topic that I could most benefit from? And I'll start to receive certain ideas and examples and nudges. So the most important aspect of intuition from my experience is knowing what question to ask. If you can think of the question, you'll be amazed with how far your journey can go and what you can develop in the meantime. And I also find that intuition tends to be specific to your personality or your desire or the gifts you carry. So for example, if you are an architect, then a lot of your intuition is going to be honed into being able to receive answers that are specific to developing your gift as an architect. If you are into medicine, then you're going to have a lot of abilities to receive and understand organ system or lab testing or which kind of treatment modalities that you're drawn to, or the kind of question you feel like asking your patients. If you're an accountant, then you'll have a certain ability to understand the financial system and which way the trends are going, or what is the best way to help a certain client in managing your finances. These are all, you can engage your intuition in all of those questions, and they're going to kind of enhance your gifts that you already have in that area and fine-tune it. So I have found that you don't all have similar looking intuition and the way of receiving answers because you're specific to your passion and desire. And now, the most benefit you can get from intuition is about asking about the cause of the issue. Because it turns out the way we're designed, for every issue that we're dealing with or every blocks that we're experiencing, the cause is within us. The cause is a suppressed emotion from your childhood, from inherited issues from your ancestors, however it gets there. There is a suppressed emotion. And once the emotion is suppressed, it really bumps up the soul. Like the soul just doesn't flow anymore. The emotions doesn't flow, which means there's no energy flowing. And now everything downstream just starts to get blocked out, starts to shrivel. The body literally starts to shrivel and die because of the lack of energy flow from where the emotion is blocked. So when you're asking for the cause of resolving an issue or having growth of your desire in a certain area, ask for the cause, and what you're going to get as an answer is a trigger of the emotion. So you may ask, how can I better improve my finances? And next thing you know, things start happening around you. A bigger bill comes your way, or your job starts to get a little shaky, or the job gets more unbearable. It makes you feel like you can't stand the current job, you have to move on, or something will happen to further enhance the emotional pain that you need to release so that your finances can improve. Let me do that again. So currently, inside of your soul, depending on the pain you carry, you already have a certain desire. And so if, let's say, you're unhappy at your job, somewhere in you, in that pain part, there is a desire to not have a satisfying job. So when you're trying to get an intuitive answer, it really helps to ask yourself, what is my current desire about this issue? Like, really, what is it that I actually want in my soul? So if you're feeling very, very unworthy emotion inside of yourself that you haven't released, which tends to be a big pain for all of us, from that place of non-worth, you're not going to feel worthy of a good job. And therefore, somewhere in you, you desire to have a challenging job that causes you unhappiness. Like you're actually desiring unhappiness. So if you can be curious and not judge yourself and ask yourself, what is my actual desire in terms of money? What is my actual desire in terms of health? What is my actual desire in terms of relationships? And be willing to feel that wounded part of you that will display herself and say, this is how angry I am with the situation, and I'm punishing myself. It could be a 2-year-old experience that's locked up in there. So as long as you don't judge yourself or blame yourself, this is not about that. It's about finding that different streams in yourself that are blocked. And then when something is blocked, anger gets created, and then sometimes anger gets turned inward. And sometimes it gets turned outward, which you will notice if you're in relationships, that actually you're the one angry about something, and then relationship issue gets added to. And even though I feel that everybody else are fully accountable for their actions, there's a pain inside of you that is also kind of a lock and key that if you could ask to see what that pain is and release it, your feeling of self-love and self-worth will grow. And therefore you're less tolerant in allowing those kind of behaviors or attracting those kind of behaviors. And to clarify, that it's not about blame. You're never responsible for somebody else's hurtful actions to yourself. So asking a question about the cause, or asking to know, what am I really truly desiring? Where in me am I desiring to have these ongoing health issues? Like, where is that coming from? Is it coming from within me? These are good questions to ask. And then you can start to figure out why. So when I've asked some questions recently about finances for myself, I found out that there's a part in me that is in self-punishment and feel I'm very, very angry and that I'm punishing myself because I don't feel I deserve it, in order to appease somebody else that is punishing me. So it's kind of a real hard child experience. So then I asked, why? Why are you punishing yourself? And from that, I get more and more answers, more and more emotions, and then I can start to work through the emotions, which then helps to resolve some pretty big multi-generational blocks that we carry about certain issues. And it's wonderful to know this. It's wonderful to know that there's something you can do. You can ask to find the cause within yourself that you're not to blame for, that you can now release and be able to freely and truly create the life you really want within the limitations of your environment. So I think that's a wonderful thing. I think God has created something wonderful through this system. And so some questions that I do like to ask, let me look at my notes, is what in me is the cause of this? Is one of my favorite questions. Say health issues, financial issues, relationship issues, environmental issues that we're having right now, the weather issues we're having right now. It's not about blame, but it's about knowing that maybe there's some brokenness in us that the environment is always going to reflect our own state. That maybe if we could go in there and resolve those emotions, it will stop needing to be reflected by the environment. And it also changes your behavior. When you have a lot of pain inside of you, you have certain addictions, we can say, to compensate for those pains that end up harming the environment. So it's always good to know the cause that you could release that will greatly contribute to helping our planet right now. And then I also like to ask, what is my current desire regarding this issue? And why do I desire this? I like to ask, what are my blocks to releasing the cause? So say the cause in me is I don't feel worthy, or I have a lot of fear. Obviously, I'm blocked to feeling it, or I would have released it a long time ago. So then I ask, what are my blocks to releasing the cause? Generally, it's a whole bunch of fears. And I have released some videos on my YouTube channel about fears and how to process through them. So you're welcome to go through those videos. But to identify what are my blocks to releasing the cause, because ultimately, this is the goal in the bank. This is it. What is the cause within me? How do I release it? But then you're going to work through the blocks. And you can also ask, how can I release the cause from myself? And what is the most loving way for me to resolve this issue? I find that that's a good question to ask, because the most loving way, which can also be the most truthful way, saying the same thing, you'd be surprised by the answer. Sometimes you're asked to leave a certain situation. Sometimes you're asked to step into courage. Sometimes you're asked to be more gentle with yourself. I don't know, I'm always surprised by answers to these kind of questions. And when you don't have an idea of what the answer should be, you're just asking a question, you're more open to receiving something that would pleasantly surprise you. And these are some of the questions that you can ask that can help greatly with moving your intuition along. And if you have certain questions on what you feel I could expand on in developing and using your intuition, feel free to drop me a message. My Facebook page, Dharm Sidhu. You can message me through Facebook, and I'll be happy to expand on it, do a video on it that could help everybody to learn more. Thank you for joining us, and I love talking about intuition, and it is my personal passion to see everyone become more comfortable in connecting to their intuition. Thank you.